You're listening to the MER-Mates podcast, the marine science research podcast.
Ever heard of a marine station? We all know about bus stations, train stations, but a marine station?
Well, it's a traffic centre too, just not for passengers. Instead, it's all about ideas, research and students, bustling with scientific discovery.
In this episode, we will be finding out about what is at the MER community's heart, the Plentzia Marine Station.
Join us uncovering its fascinating journey from its creation to the cutting-edge research happening there today.
And yes, you will hear about some spooky ghost stories along the way. Get ready for an unforgettable dive into the Bay of Plentzia. Science, stories, and all.
Today, we have a very special guest with us. We have a researcher in the environmental toxicology group. He also happens to be Deputy Director of the Research Centre for Experimental Marine Biology and Biotechnology. He did postdocs in multiple places such as Wales, Austria, Portugal, in the islands of Azores, and that's all we know. Maybe he has more to tell later on. And his research is mainly focused in the application of biomarkers of effect against exposure to metals in aquatic and terrestrial organisms. He is also interested in cellular localization and quantification of metal ions. And he is the coordinator of Master MER since 2012. You're very welcome to be with us here, Manu.
Thank you very much for the very nice introduction. There are things that I don't remember already.
Oh, there's things you don't remember?
Or I don't want to remember. They happened quite a long time ago. No, I remember, of course. It's you.
Well, you also happen to be our boss, yeah?
Yeah, he's also our boss. Would like to know what is your day-to-day like?
Today, in a normal day. Well, I do what I'm supposed to do. That in the last years, I have been more involved in the management of the station. The daily life is quite hard because you have to fight with everybody in the rectorate, in different places, because you have to maintain, it's management, but it's not a pure management like in a faculty. It's a management of science and management of the center. The center is devoted to science and for teaching. Teaching the masters, the master MER. Okay, so it's quite complex. You have to change your mind every second because they are attacking you with different items regarding research, regarding economic management, regarding the management of master. But the most important thing is that you are working with people.
Yeah, I understand that can be sometimes tiring, I guess.
Yeah, I've got always my door open.
Oh yeah, we can see that. Yeah, we happen to be recording just in front of your office.
Yeah, and I like it because I know people passing by who they are. So if I want something from somebody, I can give a shout.
That's a very good strategy. Yeah. Less emails, I guess, in the inbox too.
Yeah, that's true.
So, as we've said, Manu, you're the coordinator of the Master MER, which is all about mobility. It's one of its main focuses, apart from science, obviously. And, well, for our listeners who don't know what the program is, the MER Master, basically each semester we have to spend some time at different universities. Now, nowadays, mobility is promoted and it's much more accessible. And networking between universities is easy. But we've seen that during your early stages of your career, you've been doing research at different institutions and in different countries. How would you say that your experience with mobility was different from modern students' experience?
Nothing to do. Now it's much easier than before. And also all the mobilities that I have been doing during my PhD time, most of the times, I was traveling alone. I was going to Wales to do part of my PhD. I was there 3 months. Well, Jonan came because Jonan was my supervisor.
Yeah. Oh, was he? Oh, we didn't know that.
It was his first PhD.
Oh, that's amazing.
So for the good and for the bad, not for the good. And I went to Wales because he was formerly in Wales a couple of years before me. And he came with me and he stayed with me some weeks. But it was very focused on research, only research. Of course, the social activity was quite high. I met a lot of people there. Learning Basque was amazing.
A lot of people in Wales learning
In
Basque.
the middle of nowhere, I found one girl that was from Portugalete, and she was teaching Basque in
That is
a
amazing.
university, because there was a center for minority languages, and there were people that were Basque speakers, Welsh speakers, Irish speakers, so we were together in a kind of Euskaltegi, something like that. And for that moment, I was starting learning Basque. It was in my former steps in the Basque language. And it was funny because during the weekends, I used to go to the church because there was a Catholic priest that was called Aitayon, and he had a very strong relationship with the Basque country. And he was defined as Basque speaker. He speaks a wonderful Basque.
In Wales.
He was giving the service in Welsh. And when he saw me, I went there to stay with him, and he started translating in the church from Welsh to Basque. It was quite funny. Okay, so the mobility, coming back to the question, was different. Now, during the master, it's compulsory. The mobility. Of course, you accept very well, and all the students are happy with this strategy, no? But here is compulsory, and the whole cohort is going to the place, and then we are gathering together here in Plentzia for the second semester. So you create community. Well, we create community in that way. When I went to Wales or to different places, it was only me with the local people, and of course I have very good friends. And afterwards I became the vice dean for international relationships in the faculty, and I used to travel also to teach in different universities. And for me that was different because it was not related with my research. Of course it was some kind of relationship with the topic that I was delivering in that moment, but was going and having a look to the way in which the masters and the degree of biology in most of the cases is taught in Sweden, in Portugal, in England, in different places. So for me, mobility has been very a driver for my activity in my professional way and also for the master. And when we designed the master MER, we decided to do it in that way, and I think it is one of the strengths of the master, the mobility, and trying to put at least one semester all the people, all the cohort together in one place to feel the community, the spirit, something like that.
So you kind of designed the structure of the master. Well, I guess you were involved in the beginning of the master, obviously. Because of your own experience, you wanted people to feel the community.
Well, at the very beginning, I have to make clarification. I'm the coordinator in the UPB. Yeah, but the whole coordinator is Jonan from the MER Consortium. Okay, we've got one priest that is, but between all of us, we decided to do in this way. And at the very beginning was very well accepted by the European Union, and that's the way that they funded us.
Well, the thing is, in academia, at least nowadays, many researchers end up working far from home because of the mobility they have. They stay in different universities and they end up working far from home, especially if you worked in multiple prestigious places. How and why did you decide to return to Bilbao?
Well, all my stays have been short. They have not been very long stays abroad. So the ones that length more was in Wales for 4 months, and then some sporadic ones, 1-2 weeks, 1 month in different places, and also after the PhD. But when I finished the PhD in July, I was contracted in March next year, so I didn't have time to go abroad because it was happening that way, and I stay in Bilbao. I didn't move from Bilbao because it's the best place in the world.
Oh, okay. I can agree with that, actually.
Now that we are talking about Bilbao, right now we are at Pie in Plentzia, which is a really nice place, and the views are amazing to work here. So we would like to know more about the creation of the marine station. We wanted to know who participated and what were the first steps.
It was a very nice adventure from the very beginning. It was not easy to convince the people that had the money in that moment, and also once we went, well, the building belonged to the bank, the local bank, to the Kucha Bank. And the building was abandoned for many years. There were some years that was occupied only in summer for residents, for old people. They were coming to spend the holidays here from a residence in Barrica up to the hill in the way to Bilbao. And the bank, where we talk with the social action of the bank, and they okay, nice project to build up or to create a marine station for the university. It's a public interest, so we don't want to create some private history or exploitation or something like that, because there were some proposals to use this building as a bathhouse or something like that, or also to create a casino. And the bank said no, it should be something public for the society, because the social action of the bank was devoted for that. And we went to the university with a plan, because the bank was paying money. Maybe it was a way of washing the head or the face of the building, not doing many works inside, trying to go in, to paint, and to do some sanitation in the building and go in. That's all, with much more investment. But the university said no, because one of the rectors in that moment, I'm not going to say the name, we called Findus by rector, because you know Findus. This is
I'm not sure.
It's a trademark that is devoted to put fingers of frozen fingers for food. Right. Of some fish or cod or something like that, and we called him the vice-rector Findus, because he was frozen all the possibilities of new things, and he said no. So the project was stopped for 5-6 years, and then Jonan is quite insistent, and he went to do a sabbatical year in the States, and we were communicating all the time, because he was in California and in Scripps. And there was a very good marine station there, and he took again the idea of creating a marine station in the Basque Country. And he was convincing me through mails, through telephone, and so on. So when he came back, we started again together, preparing the new project. We started talking with different people, and at that moment, the rector of the university was a biologist. The one that was running in the local government in the Diputación, the environmental part, was a good friend of us, was an ecologist. And there were the times where money was a lot of money everywhere. And we obtained 7 million euros to clean up and to do some investment of equipment and so on, and we started doing that. And we finished the workings in the 2011 or something like that, after 4 or 5 years, because there was let's say the money was a little bit, the crisis arrived in that moment, more or less. But we followed with the original plan, and we finished, and we started here in July 2012. The first year was quite difficult, because we started here with some new equipment that we obtained from the Basque government in a university, and we needed to start everything. All the installations regarding the building, all the equipment regarding the research, trying to convince people to come here, to start with the masters against the opinion of many people, to bring here people to work in open spaces, because there are no rooms, but there only are 2 rooms, the room of the director and the room of the deputy director, obvious reasons, but the rest of the people was in open air, because we wanted to create synergies between people, and that was quite costly in terms of effort, to convince people to come here, to use the installations, the wonderful installations that we have, the aquaria, the equipment, and so on, and to think with the hat of the PA, forgetting the hat of the research groups. And this has been the challenge for these last 12 years. And now we are in the way to think as one. I used to say that interdisciplinarity is good, but better is transdisciplinarity. When the borders of the different groups are forgiven. You lost the border of your group, and you work with chemists, we work with physics, we work with statistics, with people of different disciplines as one. That's the challenge. Still, we didn't get for all, but we are in the way to do that. That's the idea is that one. You have been summarizing a lot, Because in the middle, when from the beginning to now, there are some milestones when we obtained 2 million from the Spanish government to buy equipment, and it was very stressy situation. 1 year and a half, all the time asking for budgets to do, asking for leaflets, pressing the dealers to obtain better prices, and in order to buy more things and to buy more equipment. So in that moment, we designed everything. We designed the aquaria with the help of Urtzi, because Urtzi and me, we were most of the times in the mud. Jonan was thinking most of the times and preparing the strategy, of course, together with us, but we were in the mud for many time and fighting with the architects, fighting with the designers, because they only saw the physical appearance of the building, and we needed the functionality. Yeah. So that's the problem that we had at that point, and they wanted to avoid us coming into the works when they were working.
Continuing with the history of the pier, would like to hear some anecdotes. Back in the days, we heard an anecdote about the first visit you guys did to the to the building. Can you tell us again that story?
Well, there are some. Which is the one with the squatter here or the ghost?
We would like to hear both. We didn't know the one about
you
the
don't
ghost.
know that. Come on.
We don't know the one about the
that
ghost.
That will be the second one then. The first one, when we came here with the representative of the bank, you know what I mean? We came here, I don't know if it was summer or whatever, and we were trying to open the door. Nobody was there. We were not expecting anybody. And was one guy that was living here.
Just one guy
was living.
The whole marine station for him.
And he was taking care of everything, because before him there were people to take some drugs and to do some botellón, some drinks, and then some some raves on the different buildings. Because when we came here the first time, also the places where the nuns slept, also the beds, also the X-ray machine, also the radiographies of the people that was here as a patient. We saw everything. We saw everything. It was intact place for everything. Also there were, you remember, during Franco's age, when Franco came, there's some representative from the fascists. They used to come to different places, and there were Spanish flags here. There was a lot of Spanish flags, because when the civil government was coming here, with the nuns, you can imagine the nuns in the balcony with the Spanish flags saying hello to the fascists, and everything was here. Also was the syringes, everything. Also the machinery to do the recovery of the polypaths, the different to do some weights and so on, and everything was here.
Apparently, even a ghost.
But the ghost came later. Because it was funny, because here was the sanatorium was a sanatorium, and here there was a small, very tiny place for cult, for the service, a Catholic service. It was cannot be a church, no, it's a kind of inside couple, let's say, no. And when the works finished, I told to the architect and to the workers here, okay, you should do the desacralization of the building. Because when there is one building that has got a place for Catholic service or religious service, when the activity finishes, you need to leave this place public again without any sign of sacralization, because you are not going to use for praying or whatever it is. That's what they did in Bilbao, in one of the churches that is in the old part, and now is Bilbao Rock. It's a big church that was desacralized, and now it's a hall for concerts. And they didn't do that. Come on, what are we going to do? You will see, will be a problem. I was joking, of course. But one of the workers, some months later, we were playing football when we were kids, and he was doing the works here, and he told me, "Oh, Manu, you know something about the ghost that is in the building?" No, nothing, because there is some people that has seen or that have feel the presence of a ghost. There was one guy that was the security guy that was all the night, and then he suddenly felt the breath or something behind. There was nothing. And there is one TV program in Spanish television. It's called Cuarto Milenio.
Cuarto Milenio was here.
Yeah, Iker Jimenez.
Jimenez was
I don't know
here.
what Iker,
We will leave a link
I think
to
it was
this.
his sister or something like that. That is also taking part in the program. And they came with machinery in order to detect the plasma and these kind of things. And I don't know the results, but for sure that it's a ghost.
It didn't publish them
No,
in Nature, I
no.
guess.
More serious stuff. And what were the main objectives when you had the idea of creating this marine station?
The idea, well, in the faculty there is a long tradition of the different research groups working in marine issues. And the idea was to put everything together, to try to work together and to create synergies, to grow, in order to obtain better results and to be more ambitious in terms of evaluating the health of the environment from different points of view. So the idea was that put together all the people working in marine science in the University of the Basque Country, because everyone was very dispersed and they were punctual links or punctual collaborations, but not well-established collaborations. And we were thinking, and still we think, that when you get together with different people from different points of view, you enrich your work, you enrich your research, and you can be more ambitious and you can reach to many other places. And to do multidisciplinarity projects, that is better for us as scientists and also better to improve the quality or try to assess better the health of the environment. That's the idea, and we maintain. It's our leitmotiv. One ocean, one health. This is the motto that we've got now, but from different points of view. For me, at the very beginning was inconceivable to work with people working with remote sensing. What on earth, remote sensing and mussel spawning in different places? So now we've got the relation. We have been publishing different papers with John Science, for example, or with the chemists. We've got very good relations, and we have been working together with the analytical chemistry group because we need each other. They apply analytical approaches in order to know which is the concentration of different pollutants in different matrices. And we use that to correlate or to see which is the effects, the biological effects produced by these contaminants. So we learn from each other, and now we are working in a lot of projects with them.
I have to agree that multidisciplinary teams are the best. That's something that we actually have in our groups. There's usually chemists working with biologists, but we must say that when biologists are involved, things work simply better.
You both guys are
It's my
biologists,
opinion.
and also me, so it's quite. I
Yeah,
agree
exactly.
with you.
Now, well, we've heard the main objectives, but how are they being currently fulfilled? Like, how are these objectives being reflected in the research that's going on in this station nowadays? Right?
You mean multidisciplinarity?
Yeah. And what sorts of projects are you working with multiple teams?
Yeah.
And we would like to know more about that.
Yeah, we are working in aquaculture, for example, and we are working with chemists. We are working with the people working with microalgae, working with different people from outside, from different technological centers, from people from ASTI, from Geiker, from educational institutions such as Cardala, that they are the professional education for aquariology. Also, we are involving people from the Faculty of Pharmacy in Gasteiz. They are working with nutrition, the nutritional aspects of different algae that we are working with macroalgae also. Moreover, we are working with microplastics, and in the microplastics project there are different groups of analytical chemistry. We can use Raman, we can use different approaches, we can use ICP, MS. And what's more, we are working also with people from biochemistry in terms of antibiotic resistance. We are working also with ASTI people, and also inside with a group of meteorology, also to know. We've got a project regarding the stranded cetaceans network from the Basque Country. We've got a project from the Basque government, and also a big one is from the Spanish government, through next generation fundings from Europe, and we are running the network here in the Basque Country, and we are working together with the chemists also, and also with different people, with different kind of approaches, no? In order to know, for example, if meteorology of atmospherical parameters can tell us something about the probability of stranding events in the Basque Coast. We are working together, trying to analyze long time series, long time big data in order to obtain some idea of what is happening in the coast. What more?
That's actually plenty.
Plenty fail. Because now most of the projects that I are involved in, they is not regarding my topic, that is cell biology, because I'm working with the hut of the Plentzia Marine Station, and this is a kind of antenna. So a lot of projects come because we are here and because we are the marine station. And then once the project is trapped, I try to deliver to different people to run different projects in different aspects. So that is one part of my job in the last years. No, try to bring back home different money or different projects, even if they are not in my research field. Well, the one of microplastics is okay. Well, you give the second derivative, no? In the case of a standard citation network, we obtain samples to archive in the bank that we've got here, and we analyze parasites, pathological alterations, and so on. That is part of my research. But we could never expect that we were doing the analysis of the liver or the cerebrum of one dolphin or one whatever it is.
Now that you mentioned the bank, Marine Station also works as a bank of different specimens, samples. What agents can use those samples, and how do they use it?
Well, in the bank there is no money, but there is plenty of richness. The richness is based on the different samples that we've got from different campaigns, from different activities, that the samples that we think that can be used or can be useful for researchers all over the world. The use of these samples is free. They've got a project with an objective, a clear objective. So everyone can ask the samples, because the samples belong to the bank and belong to the PIE. Of course, we can send samples and to pay the transportation, but the samples by themselves, they are free. But we have to ensure that we maintain a subset of samples in the station, but we can share the samples with anyone that has got the idea of one project, for example. There's a lot of people using some of our samples we've got now. We bought some years ago with the equipment fundings of the Spanish government, one high-resolution scanner. And with the high-resolution scanner, we are scanning all the samples that we've got for microscopy. So we've got the real samples, the slides we've got in the bank, but also we've got the images. So once we need to exchange a sample, we didn't send the slide. We send the image or give permission to have a look to our files in the server of the university. Or sometimes we have been doing, regarding the cetaceans, for example, working with vets in Canary Islands, that they are very good in doing this kind of analysis and so on. And we have been sharing the telediagnosis of the alterations, like just having a look to the images. So everyone can ask to use well, of course, with a clear scientific objective and so on. There was people that were asking for samples of the dolphins and to analyze the presence of pharmaceuticals. And they succeed in obtaining this, looking at pharmaceuticals in dolphins from the Biscay Bay.
Yeah, because I actually believe that was the first time it was recorded, pharmaceuticals in cetaceans.
Yeah, in the Biscay Gulf. There was no data. Up to now, there is only the presence or absence of different species, but not the quality of this or the presence of contaminants in the different tissues. Now we are preparing the samples, a whole set of samples in the last years to analyze different chemicals, and we hope to obtain very good data that can serve to show, to characterize which is the quality of the open waters in the Biscay Bay. Because most of the works that we have been doing are in estuaries or coastal zones. But the cetaceans, they move a lot. And they can give us an idea of the quality or the health of the whole area.
Actually, just really recently, Well, this isn't the open ocean, but near the coast in Bilbao, in the Bilbao estuary, two whales appeared, I believe.
Two whales. Well,
Yeah,
some
I don't know
years
what
ago there
species
was
they were.
one whale that was stranded in Sopelana, a big whale.
Stranded. No, these were live.
alive,
I saw
okay.
it in saw a video.
Yeah,
Well, anything,
yeah.
just an anecdote.
Well, there are
anecdote
different
I
species
saw.
in the Basque Coast. Yes, I think there are 12 or 13 species.
I think there are companies with boats, and you can go whale
Yeah, well,
watching.
I was surprised because it was just in the Santurce, which is like
Yeah, in Santurce is one company that we've got some kind of agreement with them because we are organizing one training course this Friday.
this
Yeah.
Friday.
But not by the moment it's not open to the public. It's open to people working on the beach because the summer season will start in next week. And the ones that are all the time working and staying in the beach are the surfers, the Red Cross. They are the ones that first see if there's some animal is on the beach. So we need to give them some advices and some to follow the protocol that we have delivered. But in the next future, we will do a training course for volunteers.
Well, Xavi is a lifesaver in his spare time. Is it lifesaver, socorrista? I think so, yeah. Lifeguard, yeah. Xavi's a lifeguard in his free time, so maybe he might want to join. Right, we're coming to the end of the interview. I guess, well, unless you have any other questions, Xavi, you want to ask regarding this.
No, go ahead.
We want to know what advice or tips can you give us to help in our professional careers as scientists, to emerging scientists as Xavi and I and our listeners?
It's the last question.
Well, no, there's more. Yeah, don't worry.
It's the most difficult one.
Well, it is your personal
Yeah.
opinion at the end. Or maybe something that's helped yourself, you know?
Yeah, I have to say that my best advice is to believe in what you do. You have to believe, you have to be convinced that you are doing whatever you want to do, despite of being bad paid, or there is a lot of time that you need to invest, because when you are the starters at least, you don't have weekends, you don't have holidays, because you are working in your own project. You are working for you. You are working for your formation. If you have the luck that I had with your supervisor, everything is, well, you work like an animal, but it's good because your curriculum improves. But also, I think you have to do an equilibrium. I like Hayek. Hayek is the Basque word for festivity and for going out. I've got many friends, and this is another advice that I give to you. Work, but don't forget your friends. Don't forget your family. Don't forget your social space. Don't forget to go to the stadium to push your athletic club. That's the point. Or whatever the team is, I don't mind. We've got the best team, but the other ones, they can have their own team. But I mean, it's a joke. But maintain your social activity, despite of being working hard and don't having holidays or reduced holidays and so on, because you are working for you.
As a follow-up question, what do you think, in your opinion, is the most important trait a scientist should have?
Honesty.
Honesty.
Because sometimes you can have the temptation of publishing fast without checking the quality of your work. And I don't like this. I prefer to stop a little bit, to slow down a little bit, and then publish whatever talking to you. Come on, give us solutions to the prestige oil spill that happened some years ago, 20 years ago, or something like that. Because they are on the media and they've got the pressure of the polls or the elections or whatever it is. But when the problem, according to them, it's disappeared, you don't mind. You are nothing for them. I think the things are changing, and I think in the last analysis that the Basque government did regarding the perspective of the Basque society regarding the public institutions, the best institution, if I'm not wrong, in the Basque country is the university. That's the idea that the people, the citizens, they have. Because they have seen that during the pandemic, during the COVID affair and so on, we were working together, and they see that the university people is honest. And there is now an increased appreciation of scientific issues. So they are demanding you more information to give to the public. I feel appreciated. And I think we need to do that. We need to show also what we are doing, that we don't live in Mordor, in a castle or in a big place. We have to open the doors. We have to open the windows and tell the people what we are doing. And the science weeks and this science fairs and so on, they are increasing because we need to show what we are doing. And we are not receiving much money than before. They are paying us the same. But we don't do all these kind of things because we want money. I want to live well, but I don't need so much money to live. If I ensure that my family and I am living and I can pay the yearly money for seeing the athletic, for me it's okay. We are not doing science for money. Well, of course, we move for money to get projects because we need our vicious of science, we are vicious of work. And we need money to work, of course, because our research can be quite expensive. If we go to molecular issues or to use microscopy or to use different kind of things. And also we need to create and to inform people and to educate people in science. And that's money.
Changing dramatically the topic, what book or scientific paper would you like to recommend to our audience? You can also recommend both off the top of your head. I don't expect you to remember the title. Maybe we can put a link to that
Book
later on.
made by me or in general?
It can be made by you. I think it's up to you, really.
When I was younger, it was a 2-page paper. It was the description of the DNA molecule. And it was published in a not very well-known journal. So it was kind of a church leaflet, something like that. And it was wonderful. It was very simple to the point. And there was a description of the DNA molecule. No, I'm not working on, well, I can work on molecular issues, but I'm more focused on cells and tissues than on molecules. But it's one example that what can be done in an easy way and can be a milestone for civilization. That's one of the papers. Well, there are much more. But also another one that I published, the first one that I published, I remember very well, in the Polish Journal of Environmental Studies.
Poland.
Polish, come on. It was many years ago. And it was a really awful paper.
And you want everyone to read it.
Yeah, well, I don't mind. I don't know if it's available on the internet or if maybe for sure not. And it's not indexed in the Scopus or for sure not. But I liked that paper because it was the starting of my career. No? Which books or which book? Nothing to do with science. I love The Lord of the Rings.
I don't know why I was expecting that answer for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I mentioned Mordor before.
That might be it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That might be it.
And to finish, Manu, apart from marine science and the great athletic, what other hobbies do you have out of your spare time? And also Lord of the Rings.
I like music a lot. I try to go to all the concerts that I can go. One of the best for me is Bruce Springsteen. I've been in 12, 13 concerts all over Europe. Of course, in San Mamés, he played some years ago. And I will go to Madrid in 2 weeks' time to see again. But I like rock and roll, I like heavy music. I've got plenty of the LPs at home. I've got a very old LP player with the old system. And I like it. And I cannot live without music. I like reading, but I spend a lot of time reading papers and so on, so I don't have so much time at home. But I like to read the books of Joseba Sarrenendia. I'm in love with him, and I've got most of his books in Basque language. And I used to go to Durango, Azoka. That is one of the best places for Basque culture, to buy music, to buy books, to buy anything that we can buy. For me, it's important to read in Basque, to teach in Basque, and not forget where we come from. That's the idea. And also, I've got plenty of Basque music, and I used to sing.
In a rock group, I guess.
Very bad. Yeah, but very bad. We've got No, no, no. In the Basque music, in the Basque geography, there are many groups that we join once per month or something like that. They are called Cantari, and people from different ages in different villages. We sing. We go with one app in the telephone. We've got some musicians playing chistu, playing guitar or something like that. And in the village I live, we get to 40 people from different ages, and we sing all traditional Basque music. Also, Jonan did it here in Plentzia.
We'll ask him.
That's
about
wonderful.
Yeah.
You can ask him about
Right.
that.
I've had an idea. You can maybe comment this with Yonan if you want. Why don't we have a demonstration in our graduation? That would be fantastic. Or something similar. I think that would be a very nice way to close our MER.
Okay, maybe you can have a surprise. I'm not going to say nothing, but some years ago we brought some special music.
Okay, well, no surprise, no spoilers. Anyways, we've come to the end of the interview. Eskerrik asko for being here with us. It was really nice. I think we've learned a lot about you, about the research, about the history of the master, the marine station.
Just thank you, Manu, and you are welcome for the next
Okay,
time.
whenever you want. I have enjoyed a lot. It has been very short. Well, I like talking, and when I enjoy talking about science or about the master, time for me is nothing. So whenever you want, we can discuss again.
That was great. Anyways, you're a busy man. We'll let you go. Thank you very much.
Eskerrik asko.